All right, thanks for joining us today. As you know, we have ended walking through Matthew together, and now we are in the Gospel of Mark. And today in Mark chapter 3, as we had chapter 1 and 2 last week, we're asking this question, or our daily thought as we read through Mark 3 is, who is your in crowd? You know, we live in a culture where people want to be liked by others. They want to make sure they fit in. And we recognize now as we look around that social media influencers are really trying to set the precedent for what people should own or what people should do to be considered to be the in crowd. And so when we recognize that, we have to also ask the question in a spiritual component. Are we in the in crowd? You know, pews are filled every Sunday by non-committed and committed followers of Christ. And so the separating factor, though, here is what do each of these groups do with Jesus, and where is he lodging in their lives? And so you can have two different people who follow Jesus or claim to follow Jesus. And so it really asks us the question today as we're walking through this for a moment, who is your in crowd? The first crowd consists of the non-committed followers. Now that is really an oxymoron, because if you are a follower, then you should be committed. So a non-committed follower truly is a paradox. But the non-committed followed Jesus with intrigue. They followed him because it seemed to be the thing to do, because everybody wanted to know what Jesus was up to. And so we recognize they followed because what Jesus was doing in the miraculous and the teaching and the healings. But they also didn't follow just because of this intrigue. They followed also because of intensity, or with intensity. This means that they were pushing to be close to Jesus. They wanted to be right there. They had the appearance that they wanted to be aligned with Jesus. Yet, when we follow the narrative through, we're going to find that these who are right there with intensity will very soon have no intensity at all to follow Jesus, but an intensity to kill Jesus. What a separation there's going to be. Because they're non-committed. It's about the moment and what they gain. The non-committed focus on their identity as a follower, meaning that they are identified as someone who follows Jesus without the impact of being changed by Jesus. I think it's another important thing to notice. The second crowd is the committed follower, which is a genuine, authentic follower of Jesus Christ. And they are really represented by the disciples here versus the crowds of intrigue that were pushing. Now, these individuals were separated from the uncommon or uncommitted followers by the response to the call of Jesus. They left everything to go and follow him. What separates the committed from the uncommitted is that the committed received a commission to go and to be a part of God's work, and they faithfully took those steps in obedience. We need to recognize that committed followers separate themselves from uncommitted followers because they trust Jesus has called them, and as a result, he will provide for them no matter what. So we need to ask ourselves the question, are we in the in crowd of the uncommitted or in the in crowd of the committed? What's the difference? What we do with Jesus and our relationship with him and our eternity either with or without him. Who's your in crowd?